Um, if you are expecting this to be one of my more humorous posts, I apologize, it's not. And if you don't want to watch it, that's fine. It's not every day is the day for talk about the serious something them, but there is something that I want to say about three things that have been going on in the media recently, and hopefully by the end of talking, you'll figure out how the three of them link up in my mind. But I feel that I need to say something because I'm about to post a picture of um Trayvon Martin, who, if you don't know, he is I think he was 17-year-old African American young man who was killed. The man claims that he killed him because he looked suspicious or self-defense or something like that. Trayvon was found carrying iced tea and Skittles. Didn't know these were weapons, but claiming it was self-defense. I think what the boy was actually guilty of was walking while black, which is a real serious offense. On the other side of it, we have Vanessa Kirkland, who is a Jamaican girl who I guess was guilty of driving while black. And I'm going to throw into the mix KONY mania, not KONY specifically, but KONY mania. And there's something that the three of these things say about blackness, black people, and how it is that we think about black people. When is it that we're going to recognize that black people are not expendable? When is it that we're going to recognize that you cannot just keep on killing black people? You cannot just keep on killing poor black people, and that somebody has to be accountable for this? Because I think in the Caribbean, and specifically in Jamaica, and some people are not going to like me for saying this, and it's fine, we have a race problem that we don't want to deal with. And we don't have to think about it because of the fact that we are majority black. And so it's most likely that anybody that gets killed in Jamaica is going to be a black person. But there are ways that your position in terms of race and in terms of class and in terms of like economics and all of them things, they're going to combine to make your experience of being a black person very different. Why is it that we feel that poor black Jamaicans who probably not have no Syrian or no Asian or no European mix up in them, like the straight African one them, why is it that we feel that they are expendable? Because it don't make sense. Just kill them off because them are gonna breed and make another set anyway, and them are probably criminal. Why is it that it is so easy for us to accept that black people are criminals or to assume black people are criminals? And what is it that we're saying about ourselves? Is it that we do not recognize that we are black as well? And is it that we don't recognize that it's comfortable when you're in Jamaica, but you see, when you come overseas, everybody just see we as the one thing. And it's somewhere slap you in your face. It slap you right in your face. Because we're there and we're living at the uptown and we feel that everything nice. Until we come over here and you realize that it really don't make a difference if you did come from Cherry Gardens or if you did come from like Bato. Is you're just a black person. And you're expendable like all of the rest. And when is it that we as black people will stop perpetuating this idea that black people are expendable by treating other black people like they're expendable? When are we going to stop allowing the police to kill our children and to kill our sons and to kill our mothers and our grandmothers and to act like it's not a big deal because that was not the right type of black person and they probably should not have been here anyway? When is it that we're going to recognize that this is an issue, is an epidemic? When this KONY thing started out, I ignored it at first, honestly. um I ignored it because I saw what it was. I ignored it because of the disappointment that it brought up in me regarding myself and the people in my generation and the generation below me, where it seems that activism has been replaced by slacktivism, where we feel that we're going to change the world with the click of a button, or we're going to save the world with the click of a button. Now, this is not to say that there is not value in social media and there's not value in the internet. The Egyptian riots, information about them spread primarily through the use of social media. I'm about to put up a picture of Trayvon Martin right now as a means of spreading information about a rally that is taking place. But when are we going to realize that if the social media does not actually mobilize anybody, it's nothing? You can spread the word, but if nobody gets up and does the labor of showing up somewhere, it doesn't mean anything. When the KONY thing happened, I said, why is it so easy for us to buy the idea of the evil African? And I'm not sticking up for KONY. I'm not sticking up for anybody that does any type of wrong thing. But if it was that this was a story coming out of a white country about a white person who was engaging in this type of injustices, would we believe it as easily? Or is it much easier for us to believe because he's an African person that he's predisposed to acting in certain ways and being a villain? When we call for countries to come in and intervene in other countries, and we have not been asked by the people from those countries to throw that type of support behind them, we're disrupting the sovereignty of these nations. We are inviting usually the first world to come and intervene in probably a third world country. And the first world doesn't come in and work in collaboration with anybody. They come in with direct top-down power and violence. And it's just straight killing and bloodshed until they get what they think is right for that country. If a country asks for somebody to come and support them, that's one thing. But it's not our job to call somebody into another country to disrupt it. After the KONY video started spreading, and the evil African idea started spreading, and oh, we need to save the Africans because Africa is one big country started spreading, then the cynicism started spreading. Oh, then these people who were spreading this video realized that they were just enacting colonialist, imperialist, racist thinking because this white man wants to go and save Africa, la 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 la. And I thought to myself, is it that anybody that goes into Africa that is not from an African nation is automatically racist and imperialist? And I'm not speaking up for invisible children. I'm not speaking up for anybody who goes into any country and tries to tell them what they are supposed to do. But are we putting ourselves in a position now where we are going to limit the number of people who can actually offer assistance? Because if you are not black and you try to go into a black country, then we're automatically going to see you're enacting imperialism. No, it's very possible that when people who come from a position of privilege go into an underprivileged country, there is going to be tension there where it is that they might be doing imperialist things or engaging in imperialist thinking that they are going to make this country better by making this country more like theirs. Yes, there is a risk there. But what are we losing when we automatically assume that everybody is doing that? And how many allies are we losing? Because the fact is that there is work that needs to be done in African countries. The fact is that Africa has been underdeveloped on purpose by the European nations. Historically, we know that Africa has been undercut and undermined at every section, and there are racial elements there. We need to keep the country where all of the black people are under control because black people are problematic. They are an issue. We understand that. So, if Africa is being purposely underdeveloped, African people could probably fix Africa on their own. Yes, possibly. But the fact is that work is being done to undermine Africa. So we need all hands on deck to fix whatever is happening in Africa, to support African nations in coming into what is their rightful place. And who is most likely to be able to undertake that type of work? It's going to be somebody who has the time and the energy and the resources to do that. Who is most likely to have those time, energy, and resources? It's going to be white people, most likely from the West. And they probably gain those resources by exploiting those said same African countries. So it's not that they're going in there to do charity. They're going in there to give back what they took in the first place, because some of these things that they have, they were not entitled to them. They came to have them at the expense of African countries and African persons. So when we are divorcing them because we are calling them racist, what are we doing? And while we are sitting here, me included, I'm guilty of it. When I am sitting here posting this video, I'm being cynical about who is posting what and what an idiot it makes them, or who is going in and how it makes them a racist. There are people who are literally dying who, when work is not getting done, while we're sitting here comfortably in our bedroom with our full bellies, theorizing from our ivory towers. What is it that we're doing? When will we stop enacting violence on black people? When will we stop accepting that black people are criminals without question? And when is it that when we will stop believing that there is something fundamentally wrong with black people and blackness? When is it that we're going to realize that there is racist thinking present even among black people? When are we going to realize that the police force is guilty of racist thinking, that the police force is guilty of racial profiling, that one type of blackness is not equal to the other type of blackness, that one type of blackness is more of an issue than the other type of blackness? When are we going to sit down and realize that a lot of the things that we think are ghetto or buto are things that are directly linked to our African heritage? When is that going to happen? There are two things primarily at work in the Caribbean. There's a European heritage and there's African heritage. Everything that is genteel and refined and sophisticated is linked to the European heritage. Everything else, where do you think it came from? And why do you think we've been told that it's bad? Because it's not European? No, because it is African. When is it that we're going to look at ourselves and recognize that we are a nation full of black people? Look back in our history to find out what is coming from where. Think about what we've been told. Get rid of the foolishness and take apart that work. We cannot keep killing our children. We cannot keep allowing people to kill our children. I'm sick and tired of hearing mothers coming on TV and saying he was a good youth, he was a good youth, he was a good youth. Yes, he might have robbed somebody. Do you think if our economy was better, he would have robbed that person? Do you think if he had options, he might have done that? And I'm not talking about Trayvon, I'm talking generally. When are we going to think about the things that we drive our young men to do? How we put them in a position to have to do those things and then turn around and kill them for basically doing what we set them up to do? There is no point in this. We are a nation of diminishing numbers. This is the reason why people are not even trying to control the number of children they have, because they feel like they have an imperative to replenish what it is that is taken from them. And when are we going to realize that we are complicit in it every time we say, oh, it was probably our own murderer, our own killer? We created these conditions and we continue to create these conditions. And when we continue to enact violence and kill these people and take them away from them families, so yes, another child is being raised without proper family support, proper food so him can brain and them thing that can develop without a father, without any type of thing. We realize that we're just continuing this, but now we back it up and say no, it was probably a thief anyway. This is not a message to make. This is not even a message. This is just me asking, when are we going to stop doing these things? I'm guilty of it. I sit down on my ass and don't do half of the things that I should do. But I'm trying to change. And if you are tired of listening to bad things being said about black people, you're going to have to learn how to love all black people in some way and recognize that we're all the same. Maybe at home, there's variation between us, but when we leave home, it's all the same. I'm not trying to say I'm at any advantage because I'm away from home, or that I can see more clearly because I'm away from home. These are things that I've thought for a long time, but I'm just getting around to saying them. Love blackness. Love blackness in yourself. Love all aspects of blackness as much as you can. Everybody. And stop allowing them to kill our children and to kill us off, because it really is us that we're killing. If you're anywhere near the March for Trayvon, go. If there's anything that you can do for Vanessa, do it. If you're in any support you can offer anywhere, offer it. Just do something rather than run up your face and share video on Facebook. And I'm going to share this video on Facebook, and hopefully it will spur somebody to action. Sharing is nothing without action. There's labor that has to be done. Let's start to do the work.